Hey everybody, welcome here to our baseball review here in the postseason. I'm Kevin Colley, joined by our newest owner of the single season home run record, Jacob Kline, and our newest owner of the single season strikeout record, Wisniewski. You guys, glad to have you on with us.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. First of all, I'll start with you, Jacob. What has it meant to set a new standard in that category? I mean, to break a record of two Hall of Famers and then Brad Beal as well. I mean, that has to mean a great deal.
Yeah, it meant a lot to me. I didn't really think it was going to be able to do that, but towards the end, I kind of realized how big that was. Just be able to do that. It's been there for 21 years. It's pretty crazy to me. It's still surreal, kind of, just to look back on it and see that I did that. So, I mean, it's pretty exciting.
I know last year obviously didn't end the way you guys wanted to on the field with everything that went on, but you had a good year going in to that season. You had hit 333 and then come in. And what was it like making the improvements over the offseason and trying to work to get better?
Yeah, I sort of thought that I want to be more consistent on the field, and I think I took that in my everyday preparation to be able to contribute to our team more so like I did towards the end of last year and bring that into this year and be able to provide that for our offense. So,
what's it like having Hallie and Levi, both behind you and above you to kind of back up your run support, Hallie and Levi?
Yeah, I think they're a big part of my success. If they weren't behind me and doing as good as they did this year, it'd be a lot easier for pitchers to pitch around me, which they couldn't do that because Hallie and Levi has good years. So I think that helped a lot from my standpoint.
Kyle, again, you broke a 9-year record set by Austin Dunphy, and Austin is definitely known within the program as one of the harder workers in the program. So that says a lot about your approach to the game. What does it mean to not only have that strikeout record, but then also know that you had nearly a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio for the year?
Yeah, it was pretty cool being Austin because he was, along with Phil, he was one of the guys to recruit me and get me here. So I knew that he had a couple records on me coming into it, and I wanted to beat him. But no, I mean, I knew that going into this year it was going to be a little bit different. I knew that we were going to be a lot better than previous years, and it felt pretty cool once you got halfway through. Kline didn't realize it. It was in the back of his mind. That was the same with mine. Just it was there, so it was pretty cool once you start getting closer to everything and having support and everything like that.
What does it mean to go up against the teams here in the Mid-South Conference? Obviously, it was already a great conference, but when you add Freed Hardeman and Bethel and Mark Methodist into that equation, it makes the conference that much deeper.
No, yeah, I mean, it's 1 through 9 for every team. It's not really a guy there's some teams, in other conferences that once you get to the bottom half of the order, you could just throw anything you want to them and you're going to have success. But these guys, at any given point, could put them out of the park and do some damage. So it makes you think a little bit more and treat it more like a pitcher, not just a thrower.
What was it like having Javier and Noah, catch you? I know Hunter Kranz is also, he's more of a reserve guy, but he's also caught in that position too. What's it like having those guys and working with them and trying to call games with those guys?
It takes a lot of pressure off of me because it makes me think less. So the less I have to, worry about when I'm throwing, it makes the game go a little bit smoother. And when you trust those guys, you see the success long term.
For both of you guys, what has it meant just being all MSC along with Levi and Hallie? All 4 of you had great years, and I'm sure it means a lot to have 4 honorees for the first time since 2014, and that team won 33 games, so it puts you in some really good company.
I think it's a big accomplishment for us just to have that recognition that we have 4 guys that are legit talents in this conference, and to be able to be recognized for that is a big deal, I think, for this program. And I think everyone on it deserved it more than deserved it, so I think it's a big deal.
I think it's a huge step, too, for our program, considering, if you look at the past 3 years, we've had 1 guy, and it was Levi, but, now you're starting to get a lot more recognition. I'm pretty sure every guy in that starting lineup was also in consideration. It wasn't just a rollover anymore. It's now you have to start thinking about every single guy in our lineup, so I think it's a really good step.
Right. This is probably going to put you guys on the spot a little bit. What's your y'all's favorite memory of the season, or a memory that sticks out in your mind as being a favorite memory?
Probably, honestly. I mean, the last weekend at Lindsey Wilson was a lot of fun. I mean, we went to a pretty sweet place. The weather wasn't too great, but it was still a lot of fun being with all the guys. And I mean, it was competitive atmosphere. You got to see Kline absolutely destroy the record, which is pretty cool. But probably that or big league camp because it's opening weekend, and you're just living in cabins, just playing baseball. So it's a good time.
Right.
For me, I think the series against Bethel, that was really cool when they were just coming in like the hottest team in the conference, and we go out there and we put a competitive series together and we win the series, and I think that was a big moment in our season, and I think everyone around us kind of came together during that series, so I think that's probably my favorite.
Lastly, what do you both have to accomplish going forward, and what do you hope this season kind of brings to the table as far as building the program going forward over the next 3-4 years, and all forward to that?
I think obviously everyone coming back next year wants to win the conference championship. I think regular season and tournament, I mean, that's always been our goal, and I think moving forward that's what we want to accomplish, and then make our run in the national tournament. So I think that's
I think we realized this year that we compete in every single game, and we did some things that hurt us this year, but we realized that we're better than every single guy that we go up against, that we can compete and that we can win these games. So I think definitely turning over that page of being a lower mid-south team, being that top half that we expect to be. So I think that'll be a big jump for us next year.
As Jacob Kline and Kyle Wisniewski, I'm Kevin Colley, and Phil Butler will be on next year as we recap our baseball season from 2021. Hello, everybody back here on this baseball review. Kevin Colley here with Phil Butler. Coach, first of all, looking back at the season and seeing how competitive you guys were in games and winning the Bethel series, among other great accomplishments like we talked about with Jacob and Kyle, what's it meant looking back on this year, having some time to digest that?
I mean, I think just as Kyle and Jacob touched on a little bit, we're right on the precipice of competing for a conference championship. So every single weekend we went out and competed with basically everybody we played against. And you throw the midweeks in there as well. I think this team has a chance to do some special things moving forward.
I'm going to start with the off-the-field stuff. 15 academic All-MSC honorees, the most in program history. And then you had 5 more guys behind that at 3.0 or above, so 20 guys with 3.0s or above. And they're getting it done in the classroom.
It's honestly a fantastic accomplishment by those guys. I don't think that I could be more proud of a group based on what they've done off the field, and being able to go in there and, again, compete against the best teams in the country on the field. I think that says some pretty special stuff about those guys.
I was looking through, and I believe this year, if I remember searching right, you guys hit 57 home runs. A few years ago, you guys hit 6. You guys have definitely improved in that area on the long ball.
Yes, no, I think I did some calculations a few nights ago, but no, I think we hit more home runs this year than we have in countless years before this. So I'm very impressed by those guys' ability to develop and improve, because let's be honest, it's a lot of the same guys back from last year.
Yeah.
And obviously Jacob takes a huge step forward offensively. George takes a huge step forward offensively, albeit struggled a little bit in the average department, but with the power numbers. And you put Howie in that same boat, and then Levi hit 400% more home runs than he's hit in his entire college career this year. So it is exciting to watch those guys develop and kind of watch those guys progress offensively.
Wasn't me having Duran lead off, and then you have McGuire hitting 2, and then Kline, Rodriguez, and Jones hitting 3, 4, 5. That's as good of a 1 through 5 that matches up with about anybody in the conference. I feel like Cumberland's Kentucky's pretty good, but
Cumberland is awfully good, but to try to get through the middle of our order, and I told this to Casey several times, if we got Danny and George on base and gave Kline the ability to do some damage, good luck getting through the rest of that lineup. It's just non-stop pressure 1 through 9, basically. So it was really fun to watch anytime that we got Jake up in a spot where he could drive in some runs. because it's not only Jake that could do the damage. It was Howie, Levi, and then you got a guy like Kyle Boggs who kind of resets the lineup and has good at bats, and then Damian Coleman, who arguably has the most damage potential on the whole team. Like it was a fun lineup to watch go 1 through 9.
Pitching wise, you have Kyle, and then Jake Weeson made a lot of strides this year. Kellen Ingram is a great arm. I thought Seth Buda, Drew Lowe, and did great in the midweek starts that they had. Tanner Cunningham is great relief, as was Ricky Diebel, and then there are other guys even in that equation behind those 6 guys that have done some real good things on the mound.
Yeah, no, we all the way up and down, I thought we were really solid.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that we were otherworldly or anything like that, but really solid. And if you'd have asked me before the year if we'd have struggled in one area, I probably would have told you pitching. But those guys were good up and down, from our weekend starters to, again, like you mentioned, Drew and Pluta in the midweek, and good when Cunningham, Diebel out of the bullpen on the weekend, and like I say, Gleason and Ingram took huge steps forward in their progression, and I expect big things out of them next year. So, no, I was really satisfied with how our pitching staff performed.
Right. Going through the season, what was your favorite memory or most memorable moment of this team? I know that's tough. Probably.
That is a tough one. Maybe if I had to pin it down to one thing, it would probably be Jacob's go-ahead home run against Martin Methodist. It was pretty awesome for a come from behind
Sure.
go ahead Jack, and I believe it was the 8th inning or something.
Yeah.
So no, that was pretty awesome. But there's so many, honestly. I mean, George leading off Game 2 against Lindsey Wilson the first time we played him, really in Game 1 was pretty fun. And then, I mean, Howie hitting it's going to get a little repetitive when I continue to talk about home runs, right? But Howie hitting the grand slam to kind of seal the deal against Lindsey Wilson in Game 2 was pretty awesome. So there's a lot of good moments, honestly.
Sure. Going forward with the nucleus that you got coming back, I'm sure you're expecting really big things next year as far as improvement in the win total, but then also just the character of the guys and the leadership coming back that can mold a winning team like that. Yeah,
no, it's a pretty special group, and Casey and I probably spend too much time talking about how excited we are about it, but it's a special group of guys, and I just want August to be here. I'd rather skip the summer, quite frankly. Play some golf and get through the summer and do some work, and then we'll get back to work with these guys and hopefully win a conference championship next year.
He's Phil Butler. I'm Kevin Colley, and that was our baseball review for the 2021 season. Thanks everybody for watching the team and supporting the Bears this year.